Hello everyone, welcome to all to my another video class. I am Manohar K.S., Assistant Professor, Government Partial College, Turvekere in Tumkur district. This class is going under Learning Management System, Department of Collegiate Education, Karnataka Government. My today's topic is Direct and Indirect Speech. It is for third semester BCom students in Tumkur University. Dear students, in the last two sessions we have already discussed about direct and indirect speech. First session we discussed about the meaning and rules for changing from direct into indirect speech. In second session we discussed about assertive sentence with examples and changing from direct to indirect speech. But today's is very important and very interesting topic, the interrogative sentences. So today I am going to discuss about a topic called changing the interrogative sentences. It means the questions from direct into indirect speech. So after this class, my dear students, you can change direct into indirect speech, especially the interrogative sentences, and you are able to understand what you mean by the uh, what you mean by direct and indirect speech also. In the previous class, my dear students, I just want to recap my previous class. It is about assertive sentences. So in the last class we discussed about in assertive sentences we have changed from direct into indirect, especially when the reporting verb it is in past tense. We have seen we have to change the tense from present to past and past to past perfect. And in assertive sentences we have seen we have to use the reporting verb said and told. And my dear students, one more point. You have to use the conjunction that in that reporting speech. I am talking about the assertive sentences. And also we have seen some exceptions in habitual and also universal truth. We should not, there is no need to change the tense. And also we have seen some ideas about pronouns, how it is going to change, and also adverbs, how they are going to change. Some rules will follow in the indirect also. Sorry, in interrogative sentence also. So those points we already discussed in the last class. So today we're directly moving towards our topic called interrogative sentence. First point is, what do you mean by interrogative sentence? Interrogative sentence means it is a sentence which asks questions. You know it. It means questions. In questions mainly there are two types. So we are discussing the two types, and we are getting some examples from these two types, and we will change those sentences from direct to indirect. That's our today's agenda. Yes, the questions. So question means what? So two types of questions mainly we can see. The first one is WH question, and second one is yes or no questions, X or no questions, and WH questions. You know WH questions. So the WH questions obviously it begin with the WH question word. You know it. When, which, why, where, how can, how much. And yes or no question is auxiliary verbs is, was, am. Okay, do, does, did, have, has had. Modal auxiliaries can can she sing. Okay, these are our questions. You know all these things in your sentences classes. I know it. Today we'll discuss one by one. First we'll take WH questions and we'll get some example from WH questions and we'll change it. When you are going to change from direct to indirect, you have to note some important points. You have to remember some points. What we'll discuss in the examples. Yes. First point, in WH questions, if you face any WH questions, so what you have to do, first point, the reporting verb you have to use in WH questions are inquired, asked and demanded. Okay, I already told you. In assertive sentence you have to use the reporting verbs. Yes, said and told. in interrogative sentence, it means questions. Interrogative banda you have to use asked, sometimes inquired, demanded, okay, questioned. You can use those. You have to remember this one. When there is a question, you have to put the reporting verbs like this only. You have to remember. Example, direct speech allೊಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯದ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. He said to me, what are you doing? Sorry, what are you wearing? Yes. Here, the reporting verb said, it you have to change it into asked. First point, you have to note that one. Okay. Second point, general rules are same. You have to remove the inverted comma, you have to remove the question mark, you have to remove the exclamation mark, you have to remove the comma, when punctuation ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ತೆಗಿಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay. And mainly the assertive sentence ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, we are using the conjunction that here. Okay. But in this types of questions we will use the same interrogative word. ಅದೇ word ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ as a joining clause. What, where, which ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಪದವನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. He asked me what I was wearing. Here one point is, so you have to change from present to past. That is a common thing. Okay, in the last class we already discussed all those things. Present, simple present ಇದ್ರೆ simple past ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. Present continuous ಇದ್ರೆ you have to change to past perfect continuous, and then present perfect ಇದ್ರೆ you have to change into past perfect. So whether it assertive or interrogative, ಅದು ಕಾಮನ್ ಅದು. Okay, so here point is, or it is in present. Okay, it is a present continuous. So present ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಿದು, past change ಆಗಬೇಕಿದು. I was. Okay, once again my students, yes. So or you have to change it to was. Why it is in was, sir? Why, or why it did become were? It did not become were. Okay, fine. We'll see. You become I. He said to me. ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅವನು. What you means me. So that's why I, and then R ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, was. Okay, fine. This point you have to know that you have to interchange the subject and verb. That's very interesting here. You have to interchange it. So when there is a question, okay, other questions, and then helping verb, and then subject will come. But when you are making the statement, the first you have to use the subject, and then verb. You have to. So you have to interchange this subject and verb. This point you have to remember. While interchanging, you have to change the tense also. If it is in a present tense, you have to change it to past. If it is in a past tense, you have to change it to past perfect. Hope you got it. Okay. Very trick point is you have to interchange it and you have to change it. But rules are same. Pronouns is had to change according to it. Speaker or spoken to ಅದ್ ನೋಡಿ ನೀವು ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. But point is you have to interchange that subject and then verb. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂತು, ಆರ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಯ್ತು. ಅದೇನಾಯ್ತು, ಐ ವಾಸ್ ವಿಯರಿಂಗ್. One more example, my students. Where do you live? Asked the boy. The boy inquired. If you have written asked, no problem. ಅದು ಕೂಡ interrogative reporting verb ಬರೋದ್ರಿಂದ still it's okay, no problem. But it's a proper reporting verb. He is inquiring, and he inquired. There is no that. Where? First word is where. Do you live? It's a present tense. It's a simple present tense. So subject is you. Okay. So you becomes I. ನನಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು I. Do you live means you have to change that main verb live into lived. So present into past. Okay. When there is a do forms, you have to remove that one and change the present tense verb into past tense. Basic. Okay. This is a simple present and this is simple past. Okay. What to work a simple present, you have to change it to simple past. Live, lived. Remove the do form. That's it. Okay. Next example. Hope you are getting, my dear students. Next example. Ravi said, "What is Hina doing?" Okay. So said ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಿದು asked. One word missing. He asked me ಅಂತ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. Me ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. It's okay, my dear students. Ravi asked me what. You have to put the same uh, question clause. And is and Hina is the subject. First you have to write Hina, and then you have to write he is. Is become was. Okay. So you have to change it like this. It has interchanged. So what is Hina doing? What Hina was doing. You have to interchange it. That's all. You have to remember that point. You have to interchange it. One more example. Police said, "Where are the weapons?" Police inquired. Reported word you are using inquired. Where you have to write the same question word or sorry, my dears, this is a small mistake. Where the weapons were. Okay, I did not change it. You have to change this one like this. Sorry, my friends. Where the weapons were. Okay. Next example. The strangers asked, "Where do you stay?" Once again, to ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? You have to remove that one. That's all. Okay. ಹೇಗೆ? The stranger asked. He has inquired. Where? Okay. You is asking me where I stay. Present tense. Change it to past tense. Stayed. Where I stayed. Simple past. Where do you stay? Simple present. So in the last class we already discussed about simple present. You have to change it to simple past. Present continuous you have to change it to past continuous. Present perfect you have to change past perfect. ಅಥವಾ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಂಟರ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕೂಡ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರೇ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಡೂ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮತ್ತೆ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಇಂಟರ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ರಿಮೂವ್ ದಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲಿ ವರ್ಬ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಇಂಟರ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಹಿಯರ್. Next example. Yes. Udit said to his wife, "When are you going out tomorrow?" Udit is saying to his wife, "When are you going out tomorrow?" Udit asked. First reporting verb we have to use. Set ಬದಲಿಗೆ ಏನು ಹಾಕಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ asked ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. And joining class is when. Same word use ಮಾಡಿ. When are you? Are you? It is very you andre yaರಲ್ಲಿ. Yes, he is talking to his wife. You means yes, wife obviously she, or it is in a present tense. You have to take the past tense or becomes was. Why was? She was not or is were ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. She singular ಆದರೆ she was going. Okay, where she was going out the next day. Tomorrow you have to change it. You have to change it as next day. I have already given the first session and we discussed about the rules in rule number 9. We have seen some adverbs. You have to change it. The teacher said to us, "Where are you going?" Okay, fine. The teacher asked. Reported verb. Where? Joining clause. And first verb subject is there. First you have to write the subject you. Okay. Sorry, but yes, you becomes we. He is talking to us, plural. So that you becomes we, and then are becomes what? Yes, were, past tense. Okay, so it is in present continuous. You have to change it into past continuous. But before you are going to change it, you have to interchange it. First you have to write the subject. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? You have to write the verb. Where we were going. Next sentence. Raj said to Rashmi, "How is your father?" How is your father? how is your father? In the next page you will see. Okay, fine. My students, that's it about the WH questions. Now we'll move to the next topic called yes or no questions. In yes or no questions, you know that what do you mean by yes or no question? The questions will always begins with auxiliary verb. In WH questions, it always begins with a WH interrogative word. When there is a yes or no questions, you have to remember this point. If or whether. If ಅಥವಾ whether ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. It is joining class. Okay. You should not use that conjunction. Okay. That ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. Fine. Example. She said, will you come for the party? She asked. Reporting verb ಹಾಕ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. Same reporting verb ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದಿಲ್ಲ. Yes, it is a yes or no question. You have to use whether. Whether you will you means she is asking to the whole class. Some ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ವಿ ಅಂತ ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಇರೋದು ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಿದು? ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇಟ್. ವಿಲ್ ಇರೋದು ವುಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ವುಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕುಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಶೆಲ್ ಶುಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಶುಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, might ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So there is a list and chart. You can watch the session number 1 Indirect space session rule ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಯಾವ ತರ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ಇಂಟರ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ವಿಲ್ ಯು ಇದೆ, ಯು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಬದಲಿಗೆ ವಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ವಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ವಿಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ವುಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿದ್ವಿ. ಇಂಟರ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ವೆದರ್ ವಿ ವುಡ್ ಕಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ. ಓಕೆ, ವಿಲ್ ಇರೋದಾಯ್ತು, ವುಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಯು ವಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಂಟರ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅದು ಅದ್ಲು ಬದಲು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾವೆ ಎರಡು ಕೂಡ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ನೋಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೈನ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಶಿ ಸೆಡ್ ಟು ಹರ್, ಆರ್ ಯು ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರಾಮ್ ನೈಟ್ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ? ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೀರಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನೈಟ್? ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ, ಆರ್ ಯು ಕಮಿಂಗ್, ಆರ್ ಯು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು? ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಇಸ್ ಶಿ ಸೆಡ್ ಟು ಹರ್. It's a singular. Okay. She asked to her whether, you have to use whether you becomes what? You ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಬೇಡ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. Yes. You becomes, yes, you becomes she. Yes. Because ಹರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. And or it is a present tense. It will change, it is a was. Okay. She was singular was ಆಗಿದೆ. ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ ವರ. She were ಅಂತ ಆದ್ರೆ she was. Okay, you have to interchange. She was coming to the prom night. Whether she was coming to the prom night, you have to interchange it. Okay, so my point is very simple, my students. When you are doing and changing the interrogative sentences, you have to note that point that the interchange of subject and verb is very important. And other rules are all same. Present ಇದ್ರೆ past change ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, past ಇದ್ರೆ past perfect change ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Okay, remove the inverted comma and then comma, remove the question mark. That's fine. Okay, you have to remove this question mark also. Okay, you have to remove the question marks. Everything you have to change. And then the conjunction assertive sentence that ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ WH word ಇದ್ರೆ WH word ಅನ್ನೇ ಹಾಕ್ರಿ. ಅಥವಾ yes or no question ಇದ್ರೆ you have to put if or whether. You have to put these points. Yes. Next example, Isha said, will she come for lunch? Once again, okay. Isha asked if, you can use the if also. She asked if she, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ, will change it to would. Okay, will if she would come for lunch. You have to change it like this. Isha asked if she would come for lunch. One more question. I said to her, so I asked her, will you, okay, her ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Yes, you, okay, you ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಈಗ? Yes, she, and then will ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು? Would. So whether she would, yes, whether she would. So you have to add the joining clause whether here because it is yes or no question, and will you have to change it to would, and you ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರಲ್ಲಿ her ಆಗಿದೆ, she ಇದೆ, whether she would teach me knitting. Last example, he told me, do you play cards? Once again, do ಬಂದಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Do you play cards? He asked me, reported verb ask ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. You have to put whether, remove the inverted comma. You, okay, you ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರಲ್ಲಿ? ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. Okay, I, you ಬದಲಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬರ್ದೆ ನಾನು? I ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Okay, so remove this to. Play it is a simple present. You have to change it to simple past. Play becomes played. Whether I played cards. That's it. Okay. When there is a do, you have to remove the do. When there is a negative word, don't ಬಂದಾಗ remove ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. Didn't ಅಂತ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Let's put it. Okay. The officer said to the passengers, do you have anything to declare? Question. Okay. The officer asked, change ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. If I have changed and added the joining clause if, you becomes they. Why? He is talking to passengers. It's a plural. That's why you becomes they. And you have to remove this do. Have is in the present tense. You have to change it past tense. Yes, had. If they had anything to say, anything to declare. Okay, you have changed, added four changes in index which asked if they had. You have to change like this. One more question, very interesting example is the last example for this yes or no questions. Raju, do you really come from China? Said the prince. So here speaker is prince and is talking to and is he is spoken to Raju, isn't it? He's a listener. So here the prince asked Raju. You have to put it. So you have to take some out of that inverted comma. Prince asked Raju whether it is yes or no question alva. Do you yes or no whether ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. You have to remove do. You have to remove do. And then you becomes ಏನಾಯ್ತು he ಆಯ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆ? It is talking to Raju. So you ಇದೆ ಅಂತ he. He really come become came. Okay, come ಏನಾಯ್ತು? It become came because present tense, simple present is simple past from China. Okay, the prince asked Raj whether he really came from China. Yes. So these are some examples. Like this, you have to change it, and you have to practice it. Many students, once again, you have to write all those and practice it. So okay, that's it, my students. Today's topic we already discussed about the topic called interrogative sentences, which we have changed from direct into indirect. In interrogative, we have seen WH question and then yes or no question. In WH question and yes or no question, both you have to use the joining clause. Instead of that, first one is WH word. WH question WH word ಅನ್ನು use ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. And the yes or no question you have to use if and whether. That part you have to remember. And the second part you have to remember that you have to use the reporting verb asked or inquired or asked, inquired, demanded, questioned, like this. You have to use the reporting verb. Third point is very important one. You have to interchange the subject and verb. You have to interchange that one. Okay, when there is a do, you have to remove the do. there is no need to interchange that. When you remove this do, no problem. You subject and come verb, no problem. ಅದು ಸೇಮ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ವೆನ್ ಬೇರೆ ತರದ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರೀಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಯು ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಈ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಇಂಟರ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಆನಂತರ ವಿಲ್ ಇರೋದು ವುಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸೇಮ್. ಇನ್ನು ಉಳಿದ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವೇನು ನೋಡಿದ್ರಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸರ್ಟಿವ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅದೇ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. And when you are changing the pronouns, you have to note, very important. ಕೆಲವು ಅಡ್ವರ್ಬ್ಗಳು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಟುಮಾರೋ, ಎಸ್ಟರ್ಡೇ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ನೋಟ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Okay, that's it, my friends. In the next class we discuss about imperative and exclamatory sentence. Okay, thank you all.